Boy from Heaven, also known as Cairo Conspiracy. Apparently, there are two alternate English titles. I think I like the first one better. It's a Swedish, French, Finnish co-production made in Arabic and taking place in Egypt, although it was not shot on location there because the director, Tariq Saleh, is banned from the country. He mentioned in an interview that he read The Name of the Rose by Umberto Eco and was inspired by it. He was wondering if a similar type of story could be done with the Islamic culture and religion instead of the Christian one, and this is what he ended up coming up with. Story takes place in modern day Egypt and follows a young man named Adam. He's a fisherman's son from a tiny little village. He gets a stipend to attend a prestigious Islamic religious university in Cairo. While he's there, the great Imam dies, and his successor is to be chosen soon from three candidates, each representing a different faction. One seems like a genuine scholar interested in the tenets of religion as a sort of theoretical exercise. One is an extreme conservatist who is linked to terrorist organizations. And the last one is a pro-government imam whose views are aligned very closely with those of the president. And since the great imam is a position of incredible power within this religion, and then by extension, because this religion is so prevalent in Egypt, in Egyptian society, it carries significant power within the society as a whole. And so the government has a vested interest in influencing the election. They need to recruit a spy from within the university, which is a very sort of closed community, who can get them the information they need to stop the extremist guy from winning and then elect the one that they want. And of course, Adam is sort of roped into becoming that spy. So it's a well-made thriller that's mostly interested in exploring the intertwined, very close and complicated relationship between religion and government in an Arabic Islamic society, and the sort of dark, cynical hypocrisy that comes with all that, seen through the eyes, interestingly, of essentially an outsider, someone who comes in naively thinking that religion exists kind of, well, not entirely, but kind of in a vacuum, that it is just religion. As events quickly move forward, that innocence and naivete is ripped from Adam, and he has to try to keep up with the games being played around him, because those games become incredibly dangerous to his own life. I like the film. I like the aspect of exploring a culture so different than my own through this sort of dirty, behind the scenes, no bullshit lens. It shows the inner workings of a political system which is so closely tied to religion, which I personally find very, very scary. I think religious institutions in general, as a general idea, are inherently bad, or become bad as they grow in size and power. And to see one which holds sway over essentially an entire country is pretty crazy to this extent. It was also interesting to see how even within that seemingly singular institution, there can be factions and splinter groups. And also, and then how these different factions, sometimes it all comes down to various interpretations of essentially ancient texts. But what I also like the film for is that it doesn't go the easy route of necessarily equating Islam with terrorism. There are sort of undertones of that, but they're very slight, and the film is not about that. I think it's well acted. I think it has interesting score and cinematography. The one thing I didn't like as much as the rest of the film is the very ending. I was ready to admire the movie for going in a pretty bold and uncompromising direction towards the end, but then right at the final step, it sort of backs down. It becomes a bit naive, at least in my opinion. But in any case, it doesn't really erase everything that it manages to achieve before that. So I still had a good experience. Solid film overall.